Behind these closed doors, an historic agreement has been inked, combining financial services, healthcare, tourism, and education. The story's ahead.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, we take a closer look at employment in the country. And while the government may be promising jobs, the private sector seems to be suffering.
And we've got live basketball action from the Hugh Campbell tournament. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A new deal signed between the government and an upscale investor, spelling more jobs and an extraordinary tourism experience. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Andrew Knowles. Thanks for joining us. The Bahamas now set to become the pace setter in the region in one of the newest forms of tourism. One that will not only provide hundreds of new jobs, but will incorporate some of the biggest sectors of any economy: financial services, healthcare, sports, and education.
Albany is considered the premier resort destination for high-end visitors. The development includes 600 residential and resort units, a world-class golf course, marina, shops, cafes, fitness and equestrian center, tennis courts, recreation, water facilities, and social and dining clubs. They're now completing Phase 1 of the marina quarters, which includes 3 condo units. Phase 2 will include more marina condos, set to be completed in 2023. Yesterday, the government and the Albany developers signed an amended heads of agreement to seal the deal. Tonight, Clint Watson takes a closer look at what this deal will provide and the time frame attached to it.
If you thought its unique ability to keep construction and development in high gear during one of the worst global recessions is impressive, then Albany says wait until you see what they're proposing next. The $140 million expansion of the high-end mega investment project located in southwestern New Providence is seeking with its 600-acre property to revolutionize the tourism product by combining world-class financial services and complexes with state-of-the-art medical and sports facilities with an education component second to none. The concept up until this time virtually unheard of. Prime Minister Perry Christie was pleased to make the historic announcement.
The developer plans to add the following facilities. 1. A medical center and hospital with a helipad and a health and wellness center which shall be of benefit to the general public. 2. A financial center. 3. A sports academy with boarding accommodation for young tennis and golf talents from around the world, including those from the Bahamas. 4. The expansion of the Albany Marina residences to include an additional 50 marina condo hotel units.
The expansion and operational phases will also provide a significant boost to the employment market.
An additional 1,000 direct jobs will be created during the construction phase, and at least an additional 300 direct permanent jobs upon completion of the expansion over the next 3 years. Several hundred more indirect jobs, scores of jobs for building contractors, and numerous opportunities for entrepreneurs and suppliers will derive from the expansion's economic impact.
Mr. Christie pleased that the expansion will provide a big boost to medical and sports tourism while also significantly impacting the financial services sector. The timeline for construction for the medical facilities will begin later this year and completed in 2015. Construction of the financial center would also start during the second half of this year and be completed in early 2016. The sports academy will begin construction in 2015, ending a year later. The new agreement between the government and Albany also includes a major social partnership, which, according to the Prime Minister, had components that were previously deleted or, in some cases, has been expanded on.
A contribution of the sum of $1 million to the Urban Renewal Program to be paid in an initial installment of $250,000 and the remainder paid in equal installments over a period of 5 years. 2. to continue with the sponsorship of a Division A Junkanoo group, and the country should know that the One Family Junkanoo group was initially agreed, and Albany continues to sponsor that group.
Albany has also agreed to assist with finding a purchaser of the South Ocean development and help with the development of the Adelaide community.
And with its eyes set on becoming the Monaco of the Caribbean, Albany is well on its way to achieving this. They plan on developing some 600 acres of property. And we can tell you that so far the project has been debt-free. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
The success of the Albany project is due largely to its strong financial backing. The mega high-end resort is owned by shareholders Joe Lewis, Tiger Woods, and Ernie Els. However, managing partner of the project, Christopher Anand, says combined with strong financial backing, the guests and the Bahamian people have combined to produce the success the resort now enjoys.
This is a real opportunity, and it's happened because there is things going on in other parts of the world that are making people uncomfortable, and it really is an opportunity for us to grab. And so as we've been developing that, you have to deliver on an environment where people can live, work, and play in an environment that is accessible, and that is a true testimony to where the Bahamas is based, and certainly New Providence is the key to that. Having a world-class airport now is fantastic, all the air routes coming in. This is all very important. You can't create a destination like this in a place that's hard to get to.
Now the goal is for Albany to become the Monaco of the Caribbean, and for Anand, what stands out the most so far is the success that has to do with the Bahamian people's participation.
When we started Albany, I was told we'll never be able to deliver world-class hospitality service to the level of the 5, 6, 7-star product that we aim to deliver. And I was too busy with my head down trying to get Albany open during a financial crisis to worry too much about it, but it was pretty obvious to me that the only way this was going to happen was to invest in Bahamians. I love expats to death. I guess I would be one myself, but this is not their home. And getting someone to come here and work for a couple of years until they move on to another country is really not a formula for long-term success. And so one of the things we made a pledge, and it was an agreement we struck in 2006, Prime Minister, was that we would invest in Bahamian talent. And today I get stopped 10 times a day at Albany from people from all over the world to tell me how unbelievable our service is. And I can tell you that today we have 350 people that run Albany, and 98% of them are Bahamian.
Yesterday, we told you that a major commercial bank is set to slash more than 60 jobs locally and outsource them to Jamaica. The situation has raised questions about whether the free movement of labor component of the Caribbean single market and economy would have been beneficial to Bahamians. Our Janaea Noel Ferguson sought answers to those questions today from the Labor Minister and the Public Services Union President.
Recent commercial bank layoffs have heightened fears from others in the industry that there could be more layoffs in the future. And Minister of Labor Shane Gibson expressed concern even though the government has thousands of jobs in the pipeline.
Things are turning around. Unfortunately, the private sector is not the same. It is very discouraging. Whenever one worker is let off, it is discouraging because that's one worker out of a job. And so our thing is to try and keep as many persons employed as possible. We had an opportunity to meet with the commercial banks who indicated that they had no choice, that they were consolidating some of their services and jobs be lost. That's something we don't want to happen. Unfortunately, it happens. Fortunately for us, we are seeing signs of the economy turning around, and so I think that this year will be the year that we really not only see by figures the economy turn around. I think that by the end of this year, mid next year, persons will be able to feel in their pocket.
Now, had the Bahamas signed on to the CSME agreement allowing free movement of labor, Union President Teresa Mortimer said that those Bahamians who lost their jobs could have followed them to respective Caribbean countries. But BPS Union President John Pinder said that deal was bad for Bahamians in the first place.
So the way it was fashioned at that time, it was challenged by the trade union movement to protect jobs for Bahamians in the Bahamas. What has happened since then is that these banks have merged, and because jurisdictions in other parts of the Caribbean has cheaper labor, they're seeing fit to take a lot of their operations into the Caribbean, and as a result of that, they have looked at how they can cut costs, I guess, from a salary perspective, and disadvantaging Bahamians, which saddens me.
We're now looking to see how we could protect jobs in the country. And you don't want to have free movement of labor between countries. I think for those larger countries which can absorb it, it's fine.
Pinder added that the majority of banking institutions' profits are raised in the Bahamas, yet our employees still suffer.
We just have to now take steps to ensure that when these foreign entities come into our country, they do have consultation with the trade union movement. They all should be working under industrial agreements, and I think it's time for Bahamians to recognize the importance of being unionized.
Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
A man was found unresponsive in his Fleming Street home this afternoon, apparently the victim of a shooting. Police say the victim was discovered by his brother around 2:45 this afternoon. We spoke with Assistant Superintendent of Police Philip Hinsey at the scene.
Somewhere in the area of 2:50 p.m. today's date, Brian Arner, who's the resident of number 5 Fleming Street. This is the building that also houses Skeet Chicken Shack. His brother came to visit him, and as his brother entered his bedroom, his brother found him lying face up, responsive in his bed, suffering from multiple gunshots about the body.
In our first look at weather, a weak high-pressure system is in control of our weather and will continue for the next 5 days. But outside of our studios, we have a few clouds, temperatures 75 degrees, relative humidity 50%. Your winds out of the east at 7 knots, the barometric pressure 1,018.0 millibars. That is 30.06 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned. Temperatures around the Farm Beef Islands, travel and boating forecast is still to come.
The government says its pipeline is full. Still ahead, more from the mid-year budget.
And culture ahead tonight, where you can find that combination this weekend. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuels.